Hello viewers, this is Paladin of Odin, and this is some more Magic the Gathering Online. This is another episode of the Standard Commentary series. Wow. Not a whole lot has happened in this match so far. We're on turn 7, and all that's been played is land and 2 anticipates. The blue-red side just had to discard Fiery Impulse because he had 8 cards in his hand. Okay, end of turn response from blue-red. Counter on Majoring Network. But now we have to see the other side discard. He gets rid of Ulamog's Nullifier. Okay, Matter Reshaper from, I guess we'll call him the Eldrazi side. No response from red-blue. End of turn, Fiery Impulse to kill off Matter Reshaper. Reshaper finds Shrine of the Forsaken Gods. So back to red-blue, who, so far, we still don't really have any clue as to what he's playing. But he's throwing down quite a bit of mana right here. Ah, Chandra, Flamecaller. Basically, it's the first piece of artillery we've seen from either side. I'm just glad I came into this game as late as I did. Otherwise, I would have been sitting here for a very long time. Chandra, +1, puts 2 3/1 haste creatures into play. That's 6 damage. Very respectable. And then they get exiled at the end of turn. And then depending on what's in his hand or what he wants out of his deck, her second ability is actually pretty good. Oh, Ruinous Path to kill her off, though. And 1 mana short of being able to awaken. Response from blue-red is Scatter to the Winds to counter Ruinous Path. Response from the Eldrazi side is Spell Shrivel on the Scatter. So Scatter is countered, Ruinous Path goes through, and Chandra dies. End of turn play from blue-red is Dragon Lord's Prerogative, revealing Icefall Regent. So it can't be countered, he draws 4 cards. Wonder what his response is here. Pulse of Marasa to grab back the Matter Reshaper and gain 6 life. I've been seeing this card more often lately. Honestly, you know, I'm still skeptical about its value. Because typically, at least from what I've heard from Magic strategists more wise than I, that when they throw, life gain on a card, typically it's never enough to justify the mana cost of the card. It's just a way to try and coax people into believing that a card is better than it really is. Is this the case for Pulse of Marasa? I don't know. So he throws down the Matter Reshaper. No response from blue-red. And end of turn is just putting counters on majoring networks. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Icefall Regent taps down the Matter Reshaper, and it will remain tapped for as long as Icefall Regent is in play. Or as long as he controls Icefall Regent. He's playing Temur colors. Shouldn't be too hard to kill a creature. Reality Smasher. Response from blue-red. Scatter to the winds. Response from Eldrazi. Void Shatter. Response from blue and red. Clash of Wills for 2. So Clash counters Void Shatter, Scatter to the Winds counters Reality Smasher, and the turn ends. That was quite the counter duel right there. And honestly, it's looking like the red and blue deck is coming off better and better in these duels. Especially since he has 3 Wandering Fumaroles in play that he could man up at some point and attack with. Dig Through Time from blue-red. So he's got a 4/3 flyer in play right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 mana, and he could man up 2 Fumaroles and attack in for 12. It would leave him completely defenseless on the next turn, but that would... I probably would have gone for it. I am more of a risk taker most of the time in situations like this, because the longer a game takes, the less attention span I have for it. Seer's Lantern, Colorless Mana, and Scry. So Eldrazi, he's been coming off worse in the last couple of turns, but he has to keep playing things. Ruinous Path on the Icefall Regent, which is quite expensive. Turns it into a 5-cost kill card. Response from blue and red. Clash of Wills. Clash of Wills for 5. And Path is countered. Eldrazi plays another Reality Smasher. Well, that got around the counter spells quite well. Smasher attacks in for 5. Red-blue's down to 15. And now that Eldrazi is down to 14, I would be even more tempted. Ooh, another Icefall Regent. That was a heck of a draw there. Locking down the field like that. So next turn, he only has to man up one Wandering Fumarole, which would leave him quite a bit of mana to be able to defend his creatures with counterspells or whatnot. So right now, Eldrazi pretty much needs some kind of a board clear here. A language would be really good because that would kill off both dragons. It would kill off the Matter Reshaper. Reality Smasher would live. He'd get to see if he gets something extra from the Matter Reshaper. And it would leave him a bunch of mana to possibly counter a counter. Wow. He went big. Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. And the great thing about Ulamog is even if he gets countered, those two dragons are getting exiled. And Dragonlord's Prerogative in response. Draw 4 cards. 3 mana remaining. He could have a counter here. Clash of Wills for 2 would do it. Scatter to the Winds. Void Shatter. But Ulamog resolves. And that was quite the bomb. End of turn. Majoring Network counter. Now it's the blue and red deck's turn to try and find a way of getting rid of all of these creatures. The really difficult one is going to be Ulamog, since he's playing blue and red. A lot of what he has isn't going to work on him. About the only chance he has is to bounce it. But then that just keeps giving you diminishing returns because he would keep being able to play him and exile your stuff. I can't really think of anything right now that would be too helpful. I mean, what is it? Rush of Tentacles would buy him a turn, but he was thinking just like I was thinking, and he came to pretty much the same conclusion. I couldn't see a way out, and he must not have had anything in his hand to deal with it. But that was quite the back and forth between two control decks. And thankfully this video isn't like 20 minutes long, because that's usually how long control versus control takes. So I'm going to end the video here. This was, I guess, Sultai Eldrazi versus blue-red control. And if you liked what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button for me.